Style, I'm a treetop fly. 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 There's no such thing as an easy ride. I'm a treetop fly. No such thing as an easy ride. I'm a treetop fly. There's no such thing as an easy ride. I'm a treetop fly. Aeroplane, 'cause she got style. I'm a treetop fly. I'm a treetop fly. Boss vagabond, yeah. Treetop fly. Treetop fly. Treetop fly. Treetop fly. I'm a treetop fly. I'm a treetop fly. There's no such thing as an easy ride. I'm a treetop fly. In our particular generation of them, turns out there's a whole lot of very highly trained young fellas that came back from that war that couldn't find no work for what they learned how to do. So they had to invent a cottage industry, because what they could do was fly right next to trees and into very dangerous situations. And there's not much call for it at United Airlines, if you know what I'm saying. So by popular demand was invented the Treetop Flyer. Seven down. Don't pay taxes, 'cause I never filed. I don't do business that don't make me smile. And I love my aeroplane, 'cause she got style. I'm a treetop fly. Boss vagabond, yeah. I'm usually working alone. Hey, hey. I'll fly whiskey, anything but guns. Bush league pilots, they just can't get the job done. 'Cause you gotta fly down in the canyons, you never see the sun. There's no such thing as an easy ride. I'm a treetop fly. I fly low, I'm in high demand. I go 15 feet over the Rio Grande. 280 knots blow the mesquite right up off the sand. And I'm seldom seen, especially when I land. I'm born survivor. You working on. Things I am, and there's things I'm not. And I'm a smuggling man, and I could get shot. I ain't going to die. I ain't going to get caught, 'cause I'm a flying fool in an aeroplane. I'm hot, I'm a treetop fly. Hey, yeah, I'm a born survivor. I'm gonna have to use the word no more. All you audience, that's not everybody taking along. I'm just telling you story.
Meet the world's first endpoint node that rewards operators in crypto. Jethro Portal, a powerful
Yes, and for always, I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You're like it hard. Something inside it. Treetop fly. Boss vagabond. Yeah. I usually work alone. About veterans and our particular generation of them. Turns out there's a whole lot of very highly trained young fellas that came back from that war that couldn't find no work for what they learned how to do. So they had to invent a cottage industry, because what they could do was fly right next to trees and into very dangerous situations. And there's not much call for it at United Airlines, if you know what I'm saying. So by popular demand was invented the Treetop Flyer. Seven down. Don't pay taxes, 'cause I never file. Don't do business that don't make me smile. I love my aeroplane, 'cause she got style. I'm a treetop fly. Boss vagabond, treetop fly. Top fly, top fly, top fly, top fly, top fly. You got style, I'm a true 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 top fly. Boss vagabond, yeah. I usually work alone. Hey, hey. I fly whiskey, anything but guns. Bush league pilots that just can't get the job done. 'Cause you gotta fly down in the canyons, you never see the sun. There's no such thing as an easy run. I'm a treetop flyer. 280 knots blow the mesquite right up off the sand. And I'm seldom seen, especially when I land on a treetop line. Hey, yeah, I'm born survivor. You working on. Things I am and there's things I'm not. I'm a smuggling man and I could get shot. I ain't going to die. I ain't gonna get caught, cause I'm a flying fool in an aeroplane. I'm hot, I'm a treetop fly. Hey, yeah, I'm born to survive. I'm a treetop fly. I'm a treetop fly. Born survivor. I'm a treetop fly. I usually work alone.
So anyway, I was just listening to some old music. This is the stuff we grew up on, my age, in the 60s and the 70s music. I'm going to put a playlist. Santana, Yes, this song, Treetop Fly by Stephen Stills. I'm going to put about 7 songs in a playlist from the 1960s and early 70s, which was pretty good music, actually. I mean, compared to the stuff they have nowadays. To be honest with you people, when you move away from America, the people that are going to move to the Philippines, you don't hear this kind of music. You won't hear this song on the radio here. They play oldies, a lot of discotheque music, oldies here, but they don't, very rarely will you hear, like, Yes, the song Roundabout. First of all, it's too long. Inagata Davida by Iron Butterfly, you're not going to hear that on the radio here. And this particular album, well, my album collection, when I left America, I had from the 1960s, from like 1967, when I first got my first stereo record player, I started buying albums, but I was very careful with my albums, and very few of them had any scratches on them. But then a friend of mine was a fanatic with albums, and he showed me how to buy a plastic wrapper that you put the album in, the paper album in, and how to clean the records. And we had record cleaning tools, like little brushes that you put on the record when it turned around. And eventually, in like 1980, when I could afford it, I went out and bought at that time, a $550 turntable. And it was unique because the turntable, you'd push a button and the turntable would come out of its enclosure. A door opened up and it would slide out. I forgot the name of the turntable, but I had that turntable. But the albums that I had from the 60s and the 70s, I took really good care of them. And I had about 250 of those. And I thought that one day they'd be worth money. And I took care of them very well. And at the end of the day, in 2012, when I realized I was going to move to the Philippines, there's just so much stuff you could take here, and also so much stuff that you can store. So I don't know how it happened, but a fella that I asked if he would work for me happened to collect records. And he was interested in my album collection, which was 250 records from like 1966 to the mid-70s. But I also had about 300 albums that were from as early as 1920, 1910, 1930. They were RCA records of the orchestra music. And they were 78s. And the vinyl was not quite, it was more than 1/8 of an inch thick. And I made a deal with the guy to work with me for about a week, and I paid him with those records. They had no value to a record collector, like an intact, perfect Sgt. Pepper's album in the original paper that was covered with plastic, the original cardboard housing for the record. It had no value. You couldn't even sell them for $1, even though they cost maybe $8 or $10 to buy the album. Maybe Sgt. Pepper's was $12, but you couldn't sell it for $1. But if you went online to buy the album, you'd have to spend about $15, $20 for it. So people were buying those records for less than $1 and then putting them back on eBay for $15 or $20. I never had any time to do stuff like that. So I gave the guy all my rock and roll and then all of those old Columbia records, which I got from a job I did. I didn't pay for them, never listened to them, and they were actually the original Columbia records from 1920, 1930 in a box with all the original cardboard paper. It wasn't even paper, it was like a cardboard paper. Anyway, so I'm going to put a playlist in this video for anybody that watches it. But we're going to look for just the instrumental for when I start doing my drone videos. Maybe I'll even use the words and get, it won't be monetizable, but it's good background music for drone. There's a couple of songs that I'm going to put in a playlist that I'm going to use for the drone music. So thanks for watching, and I don't know if anybody commented. I really don't care. That's it for now. And if you have a suggestion for drone music, you can leave it in the comments section. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now. From Michael Fazio and Daisy May. She didn't come today. she's a trip, boy. I want to surprise you. Okay. Talk to you later. I'm Bing Permy, which means take care always.